Yeah, there is. Look at all the snow. Snow on top of the greenhouse. Very cool. Snow, it's more like kale pellets. Hello everyone. Just gonna close the door of the greenhouse here just lightly because the kids are outside playing in the snow, so that's closed. And I actually want to see what temperature it is in here. I can feel the chill in the air. So the thermometer down here is, it looks like 7 degrees, which is pretty cool. And the one up at the ceiling should technically be warmer. Let's see. Only a degree warmer, so not too bad. But you can see the top of the greenhouse is icy, frosty. So whenever the sun comes up, that will give it some more. I'm actually surprised the fan's running with there's that ice on the roof, so that's pretty funny. Anyways, we are in the greenhouse. I want to give you guys a tour of everything that's growing. It is January, the first week of January, which is pretty exciting. We've had a cold little frozen snap over the weekend. And actually the kids were supposed to be back at school today, but it's a snow day today, or more like an ice day, which is kind of funny when you come from Canada, that we don't let the snow stop us at all. So it's interesting, different lifestyle. Just slow down, enjoy the weather. I'm gonna give you guys a tour of the greenhouse, but there's one thing I have to do first, and that is bring our Christmas tree inside the greenhouse. So let's go get it. We've got our tree in the greenhouse. So because it is a living tree and it was in our house, I just want to re-acclimatize it to the outdoors. I'm bringing it into the greenhouse. We might just keep it in this pot and use it again next year. Hello everyone, so it's actually the next day. I didn't get a chance to film our little greenhouse tour yesterday, so we're gonna do it now. I'm gonna give you guys a little tour of the greenhouse, show you what's growing right now in January in Ireland in our greenhouse. I'm pretty excited. I have quite a few crops that are actually we can harvest in January, and then there are things I want to get started as well for the summer, actually get things going. So it's a completely different day today. If you look outside, it's actually a misty, rainy, wet day. All of the snow's gone. Completely different from yesterday. It's definitely warmed up quite a bit. I'm gonna give you guys a tour of everything that's growing in the greenhouse, so let's get to it. I'm gonna start right here at the front and we'll work our way around clockwise and I'll show you everything that's growing. At the front here, I have miscellaneous things. I've got some purple sprouted broccoli, some spinach that I interplanted here, and it looks like the slugs have been enjoying it, but that's okay. Still all right. These are my gooseberry plants. They were outside and they didn't seem to be looking too good. So I actually brought them into the greenhouse to see how they would do. And this is our peach tree. This peach tree started from seed over a year ago and it's actually rooted itself into the ground. So this is one of my projects this winter. Now that it's dormant and all of the leaves have fallen off, I'm going to dig up this peach tree and we can put it into a bigger pot. Here I have some kale, and this kale, it looks like the slugs are just enjoying it. That's one of the challenges of growing food in the winter in the greenhouse is the slugs absolutely love it, and they love it all year round, but that's okay. It's part of a balance. You want to get the right balance with nature and the environment. I let the slugs do their thing and they eat the leaves that they want to eat, and yeah, and we get the rest of the leaves. So I don't really want to use any pesticides or anything in the greenhouse. I want to keep it all organic and natural. Moving on, we've got more purple sprouting broccoli. My mint and lemon balm plants are back here and they are just growing away. They're kind of small, but they'll pick up whenever it starts getting warmer and sunnier outside. This whole row is all brassicas. I've got purple sprouting broccoli, and way down there I have Brussels sprouts and normal broccoli in the center here. And I had some spinach seeds. I just interplanted the spinach seeds in to see what would happen. They are very tiny. They might pick up when spring comes along. One of my tasks in the greenhouse is to prune the bottom leaves off of my brassicas, and the slugs have been enjoying them, and also too they'll fall down when they do reach a certain size, but just take them off and keep the plant healthy and airflow going. So let's do that. This is the center bed at the front of the greenhouse, and I had leeks in the front of here before. You can see that there's still a couple little leeks left. I left the couple small ones just to see what they do. We enjoyed a nice leek and potato soup. Right here is celery. Let's cut out one of these celeries while we're here, and I'll show you what the celery bunch looks like. I tied my celery together. I probably should have made it a little bit looser because some of these outside ones are very tight, but you're supposed to put a little casing around them to protect them from the light. So next time, I think if I plant celery, I'll make the little string and casing looser. You can see what it does when you tie it. It holds the bunch together a little bit more, and it basically shrouds it from light. And some of these I'm going to keep. Some of these I'm going to compost. I just want to see. The slugs have been in here, so I'm just taking a look to see where the slugs have been. I might clean that up. The stalks look pretty decent, so look at that, seeing little sluggy. It's all about finding a balance. Slugs are enjoying it. go in the basket. Take them back to the house. Get them all cleaned up. Right now I have peas in this center bed, and they are actually doing pretty well considering it is the start of January. So I'm hoping they reach tall and they give me flowers at some point in the spring, and I'll have a nice early crop of peas. I had tomatoes all through here last summer, and I think that's the plan again this year. I'm gonna start probably in February. I might start my little tomato plants again and get them ready. And by the time the tomato plants are ready and big enough to go into the soil, then the peas should be done. And I can put the tomato plants in here. So rotational crops, using all the space as much as possible all year round. That's the plan anyways. And interplanted with here, there are lettuce plants. I have a couple broccoli plants as well. I also interplanted garlic. You can see that. I had a few garlic cloves left over, so I said, why not? And then I also had a few little strawberry plants that I hadn't, or strawberry runners that I hadn't done anything with. So I interplanted those as well. So lots of things going on here. Garlic, strawberries, garlic again, the peas growing tall. They haven't flowered yet, but hopefully they'll do that in the spring. And yeah, that's the one thing about interplanting and crop rotation is whenever these peas are done, I can put the tomato plants right in the center here and keep going. Keep growing all year round. So I'm just going to take a little peek over here. These are my strawberry runners that I put into the pots last year. And look at this one. Look at how green it is. So the strawberries are doing great. I'm going to have to do some pruning at some point. I'm just leaving it for now. I'll do it in a spring project. And look at that. I don't think over the winter time it was so mild that I don't think the plant really knew what season it was. So it started producing little strawberries. So I don't know if that's actually going to mature enough. I don't think it's warm enough for it to mature, but worth a try. And then here I have my rosemary and lavender. These I started from seed. Do you know it's very challenging to start rosemary and lavender from seed? So I recommend if you have cuttings, use the cuttings. Or if you can get cuttings from someone, use the cuttings. But worth a try anyways. I've never done it before. So I brought these in the wintertime just to keep them warmer and protected from in the greenhouse. So more strawberries, more strawberries. I'm definitely going to have to do some pruning of the strawberries at some point. But yeah, keep that there and these ones here. So hopefully we got to get a nice batch of strawberries this spring. Look at that. Yeah. Didn't know what season it was. Okay, so as you can see, there is nothing growing in this bed right now. I think we're going to plant some potatoes in here. And last year I did have potatoes in this bed, and we ended up with a nice early crop of potatoes. So I might do that. And as these broccoli plants are finished, I'm going to slowly plant the potatoes all the way down. So I have a full row of potatoes inside. But actually, now that I'm saying that, maybe I want more carrots this year. I'll have to think about that. Over in this corner, I have my grapevine on the right and my kiwi tree on the left. And the kiwi tree has now lost its leaves for the winter. These are actually my little grapevine seedlings that I started. So I don't know what happened. I think you can tell, well, moisture. It's very damp in here, so I'm getting some growth on here. And then, some growth growing on. These are the ones that are still survived. So all of these ones died, and I have a whole tray over on the other side of the greenhouse that died as well. So not sure. I'm going to try and keep them alive. I don't know if it's weather or if it's, moisture or something. But maybe it's too cold in here for them. So we are in the back corner of the greenhouse, and now I have avocado trees growing back here. So these are all avocado trees that I started from the seed or the pit by just putting them into the soil. So they are growing really well. You can see this back one here is doing excellent. Look at those, beautiful. I see some bugs have been making residence. Just wash them really well. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I love Swiss chard. Over here on this side are my garlic bulbs that I planted at the end of November, and they are thriving. So December was very warm, and I was trying to regulate the temperature of the greenhouse by leaving the door open, and sometimes even leaving it open overnight if it wasn't going to be windy. But look at how tall the garlic is already. So hopefully maybe I'll just have an early crop of garlic. Hopefully the bulbs get big enough though. So I think last year was my first time growing garlic, so I know nothing about growing garlic, but worth a try anyways. But while I'm here, I'm going to get some kale because I want to have some kale for my lunch. And this plant is kind of slowed down a little bit, but it's still giving me a few pieces of purple kale. I really should plant more kale because I absolutely love kale. Purple kale. Look at the color. I'm going to get actually some rainbow chard while I'm here, because I want to make a rainbow of colors and show that you can still grow the rainbow in the wintertime. So let's pick some rainbow chard. Look at that. And we'll put it right in here. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're going to move this bucket up. And I'm actually going to get some beet greens too. I want to feast tonight. Little strawberries, some parsley. Get some parsley for dinner. And then over here I have more broccoli. I just kind of went crazy with the broccoli, and there are beets growing here too, which is cool. Little tiny beets, and they're just growing slow in the wintertime, but yeah. And then I also tried some onions, and the thing with onions is I think the slugs enjoyed them. So the onions, I only have one onion left in this whole group. So I actually just planted a broccoli plant on top of it, or in here. So I've got some broccoli plants in here now. I think I'm going to have to plant the onions in little seed trays and get them started that way. I've never grown onions from seed before, so this is an experiment. If it doesn't work, I'll probably end up buying some onion sets in the spring and put the onion sets in. But I'd love to try growing onions from seed. As you can see, this attempt of onions, the slugs really enjoyed them. Challenges of the winter, we've got slugs and we have mold. I'll show you the mold in a second. So these are my Brussels sprouts. They are actually doing okay, which I'm surprised by. I'm excited for them. I'm not going to harvest them today because the basket is very full. But I think maybe in a couple days, I'll do a Brussels sprout harvest. They might get a little bit bigger. It looks like some of these ones are starting to splay out, but decent sized. I've never grown Brussels sprouts before, so it's worth a try. And I interplanted my Brussels sprouts with carrots. And you can see I had broccoli in here as well. The broccoli plants that were finished and I've taken out, the carrots are actually growing. And then these ones, you can tell it's just too shaded in here for the carrots to grow. But it was an experiment. It was worth a try to see what would happen. I want to have a nice early crop of carrots. So that's why I interplanted some carrots here. There is another challenge that I'm having in the greenhouse this year, and that is mold. So there's definitely not enough ventilation for the plants, and along with the slug issue, there's a slug right there. So that Brussels sprout plant is just going to be sacrificed to the slugs. You can see the slugs are absolutely enjoying it. And look at all the slug poo on the walls of the greenhouse. So I might have to take some vinegar solution or something and spray down the walls and clean it. The rest of the plants here at the front of the greenhouse are broccoli. I've got a purple sprouting broccoli here. And this one I think is just a normal green broccoli. Yeah, green broccoli. You can see that everything that's close to the walls of the greenhouse, the slugs enjoy it, but that's okay. It's all about a balance. And the leaves that the slugs haven't eaten, I will still eat. And the ones that the slugs have eaten, the slugs can have. So balance. And if you're wondering what to do with your big, gigantic broccoli leaves, I absolutely love making broccoli chips. To make broccoli chips, you just rip up the leaves, mix them with a little bit of olive oil and salt, and then spread them evenly on a baking sheet and bake them at a low temperature until they're nice and crispy. And you get this nice, like, crunchy, crisp broccoli chip. It's lovely. Anyways, so those are my broccoli plants. And over here are more Brussels sprouts. These ones I planted a little bit later. They don't have any real growth on them yet. Oh, there's one little tiny one growing. So they will come whenever they decide to, whenever it's time. I'll have a succession of Brussels sprouts. And I also did the same thing. I interplanted carrots underneath here. So just as an experiment, you can see the carrots are coming up. Where they're getting light, they're doing well. And where they're not getting light, they're dying out. And we are at the front of the greenhouse. There's our Christmas tree we brought in yesterday. And this is absolutely amazing. I can't believe that is January, and there are calendula flowers growing in the greenhouse. And actually, they're not just growing inside the greenhouse, because come out here, show you this. Oh, the sun's come out, which is nice. Look at this. They're still growing outside. How is that even possible? This is just mind-blowing for me. They've been growing all winter. So I planted some around the outside of the greenhouse. And they're just like hardy, tough little flowers. So something I'm not used to. Look, there's another one here. And even my snapdragon flowers are doing well. They look very hardy. The ones inside aren't as hardy as these ones. So some of these might get relocated in the summertime to our house. We'll see. But look at those beautiful calendulas. And I'm going to leave these ones outside for the bees. And the ones inside, yeah, leave those outside for the bees just in case the bees need them. And I might take a couple of these ones inside and put them in a lovely salad. Maybe 3 of them. So we'll add them to our basket. Pretty cool. Okay, just like that. We are at the front of the greenhouse, which is pretty exciting. And I want to show you guys this. Check out our little greenhouse harvest today. So it is January 6th today, 2026. And it is amazing what you can grow in the winter in Ireland in a greenhouse. This is pretty cool because I've never been able to grow vegetables in the winter, just didn't have the climate for it. And the greenhouse just creates its own little microclimate, which allows things to thrive. And our goal is to be able to harvest vegetables year round. And I think this is proof that it actually can be done. So I'm so ecstatic that we can do this. Our goal is to be fully self-sufficient. I know that takes a long time to reach that goal, maybe like 5 years or something like that. But this year we're going to expand it even more and push ourselves and see what we can grow in the greenhouse. So I'm going to leave you guys there. Thank you everyone for joining me for this greenhouse January tour. I'm so excited you could see everything that's growing in the greenhouse and what winter in Ireland is like. So I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.